just her way. Miss Stewart hadn't missed a day of school yet, and so her class was surprised to find a substitute sitting in her chair one Monday morning. "We have a substitute," breathed Jan. "Maybe we should change our names," suggested Zach. "Please have a seat immediately so I can take roll," interrupted the substitute. The children filed into the room. The substitute wrote her name, Miss Jesterway, on the board. Zach couldn't help noticing that when you broke up the sub's last name into smaller parts, it sounded like the words "just her way." Zach also noticed that her accent kept changing. Sometimes she sounded like she was from the South, and other times she sounded like she was from the East Coast. Zach decided to keep a closer eye on their substitute. The substitute seemed a little bit weird. Out of the corner of his eye, Zach noticed that the substitute was cleaning out her ears. "This lady is something else," thought Zach. An hour later, Zach saw the substitute turn a dial in the back of her head. He was getting more suspicious. Zach turned to his buddy Jake. "Hey Jake, did you see that sub crank a dial in her head?" Jake raised his eyes and shook his head. Zach looked back up at the substitute and saw an antenna rising out of her head. "Jake, look at that," Zach called. Just then the substitute turned and glared at Zach. She began walking up the aisle to a seat. Kitchen patrol. Syria's mother called for Syria to come do the dishes. This was Syria's least favorite job, and she groaned at the thought of it. "Why don't we just use paper plates?" asked Syria. Ever since the dishwasher has been broken, Syria dreaded the daily task of doing dishes. She hated everything about it: the dirty sponge, the grimy food on the plates, and the smelly dish soap. That night, as Syria cleaned the table, she took special care to put the tea kettle gently in the suds. As Syria grabbed the sponge to wipe it clean, she felt an odd sensation. Wiping the tea kettle with her sponge, a cloud of smoke filled the room. "What is going on?" thought Syria. She wiped again, and another puff of smoke flew in the air. Syria set the tea kettle on the counter and decided to ignore this incident. But as she picked up the plate began dripping a brown, muddy substance. "Mom," hollered Syria, "I think our dishes have a problem." "What do you mean?" asked her mother. "The dishes are making their own mess," said Syria as she put down a fork that spewed white, cloudy mush. Syria, we don't have time for games. Get the dishes done so we can leave," instructed Mother. Just then, Syria opened the broom closet to find a fountain of mud spraying out into the room. Syria slammed the closet door shut and ran out of the room.